Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to a new episode of Words of Wellness. I'm Yassir Al-Manawi, I'm your host, and today we are going to be talking about equality, fairness, and justice. And from the other point of view, psychologically, we are going to be talking about anger management, how to contain your anger. Not any type of anger, but we're talking about angry behavior from a husband to a wife or from a wife to a husband. And that's actually very important to take a look at, especially if a relationship is on the brinks of separation or ending or anything like that. So let's read the surah and the ayah, and then we'll discuss the issue together. That's the translation. That's how it goes. The surah is Surah An-Nisa, ayah number 35. If you fear a breach between them twain, appoint two arbiters, one from his family and the other from hers. If they both wish for peace, Allah will cause them to reconciliate. Indeed, Allah is ever knowing, well acquainted with all things. So, now what we're seeing here is that even though in a relationship, and this is what we do in family therapy, by the way, in a relationship, before anybody goes to divorce, they go to what we call mediation, not meditation, mediation. So when they go to mediation, what does the mediator do? The mediator, they actually try to reconcile between both parties. A lot of times, even though the mediation doesn't work, then they could come to therapy. When they come to couples therapy at this point in time, then the first question is that we start trying to reconcile this family together. How? By looking at the issues as one problem for both people, or one issue facing both people. It's not one person trying to fight against the other and the other person trying to fight against the other. So we try to reconciliate between both of them. What we need to do at this point is that we need to exhaust each and every option that could be tried before you get to the word divorce. Why? Well, in every law, divorce is not an easy thing to do. In a human law, in governmental law, it's not an easy thing to do. Why? Because it's associated with a lot of anger. It's associated with a lot of feelings, ambivalent feelings. And a lot of times what you find out is that the reasons does not even come to this point. But if they do come to this point, then we'll have to deal with it. Let's see what we can do before we get to the divorce word. What we can do is that when people come for therapy, they need to realize that they are together. They need to make a decision that if this is what they want to do, or they want to jump ship, they want to leave the relationship. Once they come to this decision, which is most likely a lot of people will say, no, I don't want to leave her, no, I don't want to leave him, but we have this and we have that and we have these problems and these problems. So we need to work on the problems together. So the way we present that to the family and the way they need to look at it is that they are one unit, they are one ship, and they can work on it together. They need to remember the times, why or what made them join to begin with, what made them get together to begin with, what made them get married to begin with. They need to figure out the qualities in one another. When we talk about the qualities, what we're saying is the positive qualities, because the human nature is that by nature we are actually look at the negative qualities. We don't look at the positive qualities, and that's a fact. If I ask anybody, well, Tell me what are you doing wrong. They tell me right away what they're doing wrong. Tell me what's wrong in your relationship. They say 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 10 or 20. Tell me what's right with you or what's right with your relationship. They say, oh, I need a minute to think about that. Tell me what's attracting you in your wife or what's attracting you in your husband. They actually say, well, not anything at this point. I don't believe that. And that's not true. And that's what comes out in therapy, is that there are positive issues about each partner, and they need to take a look at it. So people have these feelings inside of them that they really want to work on it. However, the pressures from the outside world is very difficult. The pressures are very intense. It's very hard to keep a relationship together. That's why you need to join forces. And in the ayah that we read, we said equality. Equality means in a relationship, you're pretty much equal. Yes, a man and a woman, and a man would say, I'm the man, and a woman would, doesn't want to be on a lower standard, but she's not. She's not. It's an equal relationship in any marriage. We're talking about fairness. Fairness is that when they go against somebody who's working as a mediator or a family therapist, he needs to be fair. He needs to be just. He doesn't need to give any advice, just like this or that. He needs to help them and aid them to reach the point that they ought to reach their decision on their own. We're talking about justice. Justice means that if there are really problems with reconciliation and it's impossible to reconcile, what do? This is what we call irreconcilable differences between two people. Some people have to just split. They have to leave. They have to divorce. They have to separate, because sometimes it's not an equal relationship. And when I say equal, I mean it's not equal emotionally, it's not equal financially, it's not equal mentally. So one of them is feeling that he can't live in this relationship. There is no way. And that's what we need to realize. And that's where the justice comes. Justice has to be that you're not in a marriage for life, and you're not in a marriage to be abused. If it comes to that point and you need to leave, you leave. And you know what? Ironically, is that all the laws are the laws that came from spiritual laws to protect each person, to protect the male as it is to protect the female, or to protect the female as it is to protect the male. So that we need to realize like that. If you have any marriage problems, please seek somebody that you can talk to, somebody that is going to be just between both of you, not a biased person, somebody that's going to be just, or two people. So one, if somebody made the wrong decision, the other one could aid him on the right decision before you make any hasty decisions. That's what you need to do, and that's what our discussion today was all about. Take your time, think about it, try everything you can so you do not regret it afterwards. With these words, I'll leave you, and we'll meet in a different episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.